I want to thank the two of you for having me. I want to thank PowerStep for having me. What I want to talk about tonight is just a talk on biomechanics. And I think everything that we do, no matter what, except for the dermatologic problems that present in our office, almost everything that we see in our practices really does come down to biomechanics. And I'm doing this 27 years, and throughout my 27 years, I've dispensed many prefabricated orthotics. I've dispensed many custom orthotics, and over these 27 years, I've really tried to decide what is best for my patients. And is a custom orthotic always needed? Is it not always needed? What is the right thing for us to do? So just as a disclaimer, I am a consultant with PowerStep, the sponsor of tonight's webinar, but I want to talk, what I want you to really take away from this is just my experience with using prefabricated orthotics in my practice. I don't think it would matter whether or not I was a KOL with PowerStep. I've been using the PowerStep product for many, many years, recommending it, and I think it's the best product out on the market. So as I said earlier, the objectives for tonight are pretty straightforward. Biomechanics is the foundation for many of our problems. When it's treated early, utilizing orthotic to relieve pain, slow or stop the progression of symptoms, and preclude the need for custom orthotics. Really, that's what it's about. It doesn't always, it depends on the patient. It depends on the presenting symptoms, the presenting podiatric problem, really how you're going to address your patient's needs. And sometimes it's not just the clinical problems the patient has. It might also be other problems that they have, and we're going to get to that as well. So everybody here, listen, we're all podiatrists. I don't have to talk to you about, this is not going to be a lecture on, root biomechanics, and it's not going to be a discussion on the gait cycle, and that's not what this is about. But everyone here knows when a patient's complaint is related to the biomechanics of the feet. I don't care if it's hallux valgus. I don't care if it's plantar fasciitis, pes plano valgus. Whatever it is, we will all utilize orthotics at some point in a patient's treatment. Doesn't matter. We're going to do it because really, as I say to my patients, the feet are the building blocks. Just think about the foundation. And really, that's what it's about. So much comes from that foundation, and having somebody start with a neutral, stable base. That's what I explain to my patients on why, when they come in with a biomechanical problem, why they need a prefabricated orthotic or even a custom functional foot orthotic. So what's the question we have to ask ourselves? Does every patient need a custom orthotic at the onset when they come into your office with this biomechanical problem? Do they need a custom orthotic? Well, I don't even know if that's a good question. I think there's a better question that they need. Does every patient need to invest in the use of a custom device, or is this something that will benefit the patient first? So when we talk about investing, I use this very often, and I've had this discussion with many podiatrists across the country. My work with AAPPM and really from a business management standpoint, I try to talk about things never being a cost. Nothing ever costs you anything if there is a return on the investment. So whether they are investing in a custom orthotic, whether they are investing in a prefabricated orthotic, whether they are investing their time whether it's going for physical therapy. Remember, investment can mean a lot of things to that patient. So, does a patient need to invest the time, the effort, possibly the finances with a custom device, or is there something else that they will benefit from? So what if you're able to provide your patient with a prefabricated device that they can leave the office with, that you felt comfortable enough with to provide them with the stability, the functionality, give them that base that they need? Because in the end, this is, and I'm almost giving away the end of my last slide. It's really about what you believe is best for your patient. If you believe whatever you're doing for your patient, if you believe you are giving that patient the best clinical advice you can, then you're doing the right thing. And I don't care if it's talking to them about a surgical procedure, whether you need to tell them that they need to go for physical therapy, whether they need to lose weight because their podiatric pathology that they're presenting with can get better with weight loss. I don't care what it is. If you provide them with something that they leave the office with, and in this case, a prefabricated device, if you feel that that's what they need, then that's what you should be doing. So can a prefabricated device really treat our patients? And really what this comes down to is the Power Step orthotics are clinically proven to improve foot function and decrease foot pain. So it's not just my opinion. This was a study done by Springer, Otter, and Barry when they're talking about the use of a prefabricated, semi-rigid foot orthotic to help improve foot function. And what is it that we want to do when we're treating our patients in any way, and especially from a biomechanical problem, and when using a prefabricated orthotic? We're looking to help the patient to improve foot function and decrease foot pain. That's what it's really about, letting patients live a well-rounded, pain-free life. So whether or not you're treating pes planovalgus, pes cavus, plantar fasciitis, metatarsalgia, I don't care. I don't have to read this list to you. It does not need to be a custom functional device to provide the patient with what they need in an orthotic. If you believe that, which I do, then the use of a prefabricated device is what you should be using in your practice. So like I said, it's not about believing me. It's not about believing the company. It's not believing any sales pitch. That's not what this is about. The study that was done by Springer, Otter, and Barry was they looked at patients at baseline, 4 weeks, and at 12 months. They saw an initial marked decrease in foot pain right away. They also noted that the device provided a good fit for that patient. It provided the patient stability. The patients related that they felt comfortable with the device. Some did say that there was some minimal pain increase after 4 weeks, but an equal increase in mobility, in functionality. That's what we need to see. Patients getting back to what they've been doing. Because we all know patients will stop doing what they do because they have pain. And then what happens? Patients say, oh, my pain went away. Well, yeah, it went away because you've stopped doing what you like to do. I always tell my patients, it's about me integrating into your life so you can get back to what you're doing. And I don't care what that is, whether it's going out dancing, whether it's going to the supermarket, going to the mall, going out for a walk with your friends or your neighbors. I don't care what it is. I have to fit my treatment plan into your life so you can get back into what you've been doing. And at 15 months, 73% of patients found that the prefabricated semi-rigid device was beneficial. That's what it's about. It's about looking at the statistics more than anything else. So why consider Power Step? So do we always have to use the device fully all the time and nothing else? Of course not, because this can be conservative treatment, possibly before moving on to a custom device. I tell all my patients, we're going to utilize this prefabricated device because this is something that we can start with initial treatment right away. Then this might be the right thing for you. But if you say to yourself after a period of time using this, I wish I had maybe a little bit more stability, or we needed to put some true modifications into them, the conservative prefabricated device might need to be only the first step in moving on before you utilize a custom device. Again, they've been clinically proven, not my opinion, not the company's opinion. It's done clinically. This is something that they can leave, meaning your patients can leave your office with a same-day solution. Can't begin to tell you how many patients leave the office and they're amazed at how good they feel walking out with the device right away. It is affordable for those patients who may or may not have coverage for a custom functional foot orthotic. This is something that is affordable for your patients. This is something that, of course, you don't need to scan or mold your patients for. This is a prefabricated device that is by patient's shoe size. And it has high quality materials. And what does that mean about your reputation? You just don't want to sell your patient anything. You have to believe in the product that you're going to sell, because if you're going to sell them a piece of garbage and it's going to fall apart, your patient, that speaks to your reputation. And that is something that your patients are going to remember. This doctor sold me a garbage device, and all he did was get money out of me, and now I have to spend more money on something else. The materials that are used in the Power Step Protect device are of high quality, and you will be very comfortable dispensing this to your patients. And the Protect device that is in your office is exclusive to you and is not a device that is sold anywhere else on any other website. There are other Power Step devices sold in other places, but the Protect device that is sold in your office or dispensed in your office that your patients invest in is solely for medical professionals. So the shell on this device achieves the desired functional control on the foot. That's really what it's about. It provides stability in controlling the foot and the range of motion. It is, while it's a semi-rigid, that also means it is semi-flexible. It does allow for some flexibility in that patient. It is adjustable. You can put other things, such as the other day, I added, on my Protect device, I added specific metatarsal padding. You can add little pocket padding for any IPK areas. There's a lot of different things that you can use. It's slimmer, and it'll fit into a lot of different ranges of footwear, not just sizes. Again, because of the flexibility, the semi-flexibility of it, it's very readily tolerated. And it works very well with shock absorption because of the poron and the padding that is in it. The material itself is cleanable, washable. I don't really know if cleanable is actually a verb, and washable is a verb. It doesn't increase skin surface coefficient of friction. So again, it doesn't lead to any kind of fissures or blistering more than anything else. The skin, it or even the socks don't lead to anything else going on the foot. The materials are non-allergenic, non-staining, and they're able to absorb the excess sweat. So the patients who do utilize these in their sneakers, do utilize them in these work boots, that people who do utilize that type of footwear, it's able to absorb what they, may have. So again, the low cost more than anything else, it again can be that interim orthotic in that management that you have of your patient. It can be the one that provides them, it gets them where they're, feeling really comfortable and I really like it, but I wish I might have more. They're happy that they were able to get out of pain quickly, get back to functioning better and more quickly, and not needing to wait for a custom functional foot device. I will tell you that this is something that is a repeatable either purchase or investment by your patient. I will tell you that the ProTech devices is something that I do have on display in my waiting room. I will tell you that I had a patient come in just recently for follow-up that I had dispensed the device to, had him back for follow-up 3 weeks later. And when I walked into the treatment room, he had another pair that he had already taken off the rack and either you can say purchased or made an investment in another pair, because he said, I don't want to keep switching these around from shoe to shoe. And it was very simple for them to come back in and purchase another pair. And it's at a price point that the investment from your patients is easy to justify. So let's do a little comparison of the ProTech orthotic to a custom fabricated devices. So first of all, there's a lot of prefabricated orthotics on the market. You go to any one of these, go to any conferences. I was just at the Midwest Conference. The Region 3 conference in New Jersey here is coming up soon. They are going to be more than just Power Step. There's a lot of different ones out there. But why this one? What makes it better even than the Power Step Pinnacle, which patients buy online? So the important thing about this device is the semi-rigid shell that leads to less breakdown. That's what, I will tell you, most devices that you will dispense to your patients need to be made with a semi-rigid shell, whether it's a prefabricated device or even a custom functional fabricated device. It's normally going to be a semi-rigid shell. This semi-rigid shell provides that pain relief and prevention of other problems that your patients need. The semi-rigid arch comes in 12 different sizes. Now, I don't mean arch height. I just mean in 12 different sizes for shoes. So I will tell you pretty confidently that if you have these in the office to dispense to your patients, you will find one that fits very well into your patient's foot. Unless your patient has a severe, planovalgus deformity or a severe cavus foot deformity, you're going to find that these devices fit into a multitude of foot types. The foam material for cushioning is medical grade. That's what it is. It doesn't fall apart. That's what's important. Patients realize they're getting a very good, well-made device, which will allow them to use it longer than they would have thought they were going to use it. I have patients using these devices 6, 9, 12 months without a problem whatsoever. The Poron, the cushioning that comes, is that medical grade cushioning more than anything else. Provides the shock absorption that the patients need more than anything else. Because although the semi-rigid device provides that biomechanical control that they need, they also do need some shock absorption, especially in the heel. This compression at resistance, which is very good about this Poron, it doesn't break down. That's what it's all about. while it will compress and provide that shock absorption, it will then continue to bounce back and not flatten out. Again, because it has this very good resilience. So as I said earlier, there are definitely adjustments that are available. So PowerStep has the ability to not only provide you with the orthotics that you have for your patients, but you can add in medial longitudinal arch padding, adjustable heels, heel lifts, 4-foot wedges, 2 and 4 degree heel wedges, IPK cushionings, metatarsal padding. That's what it's all about. So what are the true patient benefits of utilizing the PowerStep ProTech device? Well, it's clinically proven in relieving and preventing pain. It treats the problem, not the symptoms. Remember, we're holding and treating that biomechanical problem with the use of this semi-rigid device. So it's treating the problem, not just the symptoms. It's a fraction of the cost of custom orthotics. So what about those patients who don't have coverage for functional foot orthotics, custom functional foot orthotics? What are you going to do for those patients? So you can try to provide them, you still have to either scan your patient if you want to use a custom device, or use plaster or whatever it might be. There's a cost involved to you to provide that. You're still going to have to dispense that custom functional device at something that is more maybe than what the patients want to pay or want to invest. This is a fraction of that cost. There is a good return on investment, not only for yourself in dispensing and selling the products, but there's a good return on investment for your patients investing in this product. Remember, they're investing their time, their effort, and their money in these orthotics. Again, it provides immediate pain relief. There's no wait time for a custom device. Patients are able to walk out the door with this device right away. If you need to move on to a custom functional device at some point, that's great. This is something that can help them right away. Comfortable wear. I wear them. It's much better for patient compliance. If they're going to invest in them, if you're going to believe in them enough to tell them to invest their time and their money in getting these devices, you want to make sure they're going to use them. They are comfortable enough that these patients are going to utilize these devices. What are the physician benefits? So these are only available through doctors. They're only available to you, and they can't be purchased anywhere else. The ProTech device. Are there other PowerStep devices that they can buy online? Yes, but the quality that's there is not the superior, the best quality that they will buy in your practice, and make your patients understand that. It's very convenient to dispense off the shelf or right off the spinner rack from your waiting room or wherever you might have them. It saves staff time without the need to mold or scan. It might save you. It doesn't have to just be staff time. It can be your time more than anything else. Remember, this is secondary revenue streams as cash sales. Okay? So it's something that will increase your bottom line, because we all talk about, what are we there for? Well, we're there to make a living, and let's be honest, we have to make money. This does that for you. And again, this leaves open the opportunity to progress to a custom device. One of the other things that I just want to talk about that I put into this presentation is talking about the PowerStep sandals, slides, and slippers that they have. And like a lot of you might be like me that are not big fans of flip-flops or slides, but hear me out and hear what I have to say about this. So why should we dispense or recommend these? So I always talk about the hamster wheel. So, so I say that to you now, and all of you now have a quick vision in your head about a hamster going round and round and round on a wheel and not getting anywhere, right? So let's talk about that patient who comes in with that biomechanical problem, that plantar fasciitis that you've started to treat. So you give them their injection, you give them their exercises, you dispense your Power Step Protect device. And that's great. And they got them in their shoes and they wear them. Now, a couple of things have gone. Now let's think about two different things. Unfortunately, what have we all lived through for the last 2 years? We've all lived through COVID. And what has that done? That's changed the way people work, and they have these patients are now at home. So now what are they doing at home? They're not wearing their shoes. So they're walking around barefoot. And what's happening? You're getting them better with the treatment you do in your office. You're getting them better with the use of the Power Step orthotic. But now they're not wearing their shoes. And now they're just sliding back and they're getting nowhere. And you're getting back onto that same thing. Got to start all over. So by using the sandals, the slides, the slippers, which have the orthotic shell built into them, you are providing the patient with the support that they need that they're not getting if they're not wearing their shoes. So whether it's COVID or whether now, listen, patients aren't wearing their sneakers or their shoes to the beach. I always tell my patients, your foot is your foot. So you're going to go to the beach. You're not going to wear your sneakers. I don't want you wearing the $2 flip-flops that you can buy from Old Navy. You have a biomechanical problem. We have a solution. And I will tell you that the slides and the sandals that we have, that they use outside, the slippers that they use in their home, this is a no-brainer. This is something that patients love to have. Because there are people who don't wear their sneakers in the home or walk around barefoot or walk around in socks. They need something else to help them with their biomechanical problems. Again, it could be used in the home, to the beach in warmer weather. Think about what's been going on. What are your patients doing? So whether it's a custom functional device or whether it's a Power Step Protect device, they're not wearing them in the house. They're not wearing them on the beach. Got to give them some options to help them with the biomechanical control. So remember one thing, you're dispensing all these different products to your patients, explaining why they need them, even though they're investing in them. You want to say buying, you can say buying. I was talking about investing. You are still dispensing them. So whether you're dispensing this or whether you're dispensing other over-the-counter device, over-the-counter products, you're dispensing them, although patients are investing in them. So other products that you can use for dispensing. Power Step has a night splint. For those of you who don't dispense DME through Medicare, this is a good alternative for your patients who require it, and you're unable to bill Medicare for durable medical equipment. They have kids' orthotics. Their sizes change so rapidly. So if they don't require a lot of biomechanical control from a functional foot orthotic, this is a great alternative. They have ankle stirrup braces. They have figure 8 ankle braces. They have different types of braces that you could dispense. You can see we put in some of the Hixpix coating there. But if you don't have the DME, or even if you do, they have devices that you can use to bill Medicare, whether it's cash or insurance. They also have different compression socks and different sleeves. So whether or not you need patients who might have some edema, some pitting edema, you might have some patients who have some shin splints. They have a lot of different things you need that you can dispense to your patients to provide, what they need to lead a pain-free, active life. So in summary, put your head on your pillow at night knowing you did the right thing for your patient. Now, my father taught me that a long time ago. So what does that really mean when it comes to this entire topic? Always put your patients first. That's first and foremost, because your reputation is going to grow from that. And you have to feel confident about the products and services you provide, you dispense, you ask your patients to invest in. That's what it's all about. Because your practice is going to grow doing the right thing for your patients. And if you do that, if you do everything we said, your reputation will grow, your patients will follow, your practice will flourish. With that, I would want to say thank you to the Podiatry Meetings team. And if anybody has any questions about what we said, I'm happy to take any questions from any of the attendees. And Sarah, if there's any questions, I'm happy to take them. If not, there is my email address. I'm open to email questions that anybody might have. And that's it.
Awesome. Well, so far it looks like our attendees are having some stage fright issues. So they must be super intimidated by your overwhelming knowledge.
Yes. I'm sure that they are overwhelmed by me. So again, one of the things that I'll also leave everybody with is, you don't just run a medical practice. You're running a small business. So you need to do things in your business to help it grow. So if your patients are happy, if you have the ability to dispense products that they're happy with, that's how your practice is going to grow. And I talk about that at the Academy meetings all the time.
Okay, so one question came in so far. How can we obtain the posters for our offices? And we do have Mindy from PowerStep on this call as well. So if there are any questions that are specific to the resources that PowerStep provides or pricing or availability, she can jump in and help us with that.
Sure. Yes, you can contact your sales rep directly to request those, or you can send an email to marketing@powersteps.com. That's probably the best way to do that.
What kind of posters, Mindy?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what we have on hand right now. We just went through a whole new branding, so we might not have anything current, but seeing those requests come in really help us to see the needs that you all have in your offices, and we would address those, because if you have that need, then many other people also have that need. So that's probably best to either speak with your rep about it or reach out so that we have a broader view of the request.
Awesome. Let's see. All right, Dr. Bass, since, this is one of those things where it's dispensing in the office, it's sometimes cash pay, sometimes reimbursable, whatever. We see a lot of webinars on cash-based services and how to sell it and how to get buy-in from your staff. What's the one thing that you can say, looking back on any product that you dispense in the office, this is the key to getting it to work for your practice? What would you say?
I said it earlier, there's one thing. You have to believe in what you are asking your patients to invest in. You just can't think that they're just buying something. If you believe the product or the service or whatever you are doing as a practice, if you believe you are providing value to your patients for them to get better, then that's all you need. So I don't care if it's dispensing PowerStep orthotics, providing a non-covered medical service in your practice, whether it's a laser, whether it's using a different alternative like Swift to treat warts. I don't care what it is. If you believe the services you are providing provide value to your patients, then that is something you should be doing in your office. You have to believe it, because if not, I'm gonna throw it out there, and it's really a bad thing to do. You're a used car salesman. You know what I'm trying to say? If you're just trying to sell something, then your reputation in that respect is going to follow you.
Yeah. Do you work closely with your staff to implement like protocols or scripts or anything like that?
Sure.
And what would you say is like some pearls that you could share with your staff? Because people in the medical profession, they're not salespeople generally, and especially assistants and things like that. So how do you get them to be comfortable? Even if you wear Power Step every day yourself, it's still something that you're like, do I really want to, try to push this product on somebody? And you make judgments about their income and their means and things like that. So
I don't look at any one of my patients. I have to tell you, I don't even know whether or not any one of my patients is a cash pay patient. I don't know if my patient has the greatest insurance. I don't know that when I'm treating that patient. And my staff may or may not know that. So, when I discuss with my staff what the person, my staff always knows what the patient is coming in for, because it's something we question even when patients are making appointments. So they know what the protocols are when it comes to treating certain things. So they'll have different products or services readily available to explain. So it's about, having that morning huddle with your staff and making sure they understand what the patients are coming in for, to know what products they might need. And again, the staff has to also believe. And if they don't, then they don't talk to your patient. That's the biggest thing.
yeah. Mindy, just to put you on the spot, what's coming up new from Power Step that we can be excited about, or what's something that's been recently launched that you guys want to talk about?
Yes, we recently acquired a brand called Dr. Hoy's, and it is a topical pain relief analgesic. We're really excited about that because it is effective, natural pain relief. It comes in a pain relief gel, which contains menthol and camphor, so you get that cooling and that warming sensation for fast, effective pain relief. And then you can layer it with our Arnica Boost, which is another all-natural product with the Arnica Montana flower, and it helps to reduce inflammation. It helps to speed healing. So using those products combined together are very effective, because you get that fast hit from the menthol and camphor, and then the longer relief from the Arnica as well. And we see good interest with our practitioners in podiatry, because the Arnica itself can be used on scrapes and open and wounds, surgical sites. It's safe enough to use in sensitive areas. So we're excited about that, but also the pain relief gel can be very good for typical foot pain, plantar fasciitis, bunion pain, those sorts of things as well. We'll be sampling those products probably starting in May. They'll be going out in all of our shipments on any Power Step order as little sample sachets for everyone to try.
Awesome.
I muted, sorry. Dr. Habas, do you ever, speaking of just like other like ancillary products like that, are there like certain kinds of like packages that you could like that you put together with with an OTC orthotic that practices can use to kind of like sweeten the deal with an OTC, or are there certain types of products that just pair very, very well?
Well, I have to tell you now that Power Step, and again, because if you're thinking about something that, one of the big things that Power Step talks about is leading pain-free lives, and that's not just something from them, but think about that's for your patients, leading a pain-free life. So for them to have now just acquired this new Dr. Hoy's this new Dr. Hoy's line, that's going to be something that I will incorporate into, my, as another ancillary product that someone may or may not want to invest in. A lot of patients are looking for those natural homeopathic or natural types of products and don't want to use other types of chemicals. So that's definitely something, and that's something brand new. I know that PowerStep just acquired them, a month ago. So it's definitely something that I'm going to think about incorporating in my practice. And one of the things that's also good is, if you have the ability to have some type of a display in your office that's readily visible to your patients, there's so many times that products sell themselves.
Right.
Because patients just see them while they're sitting in their treatment chair, whether it's on the counter or on a cabinet, in your office on the wall, which is how I have it. Half the time products sell themselves.
Well, and that's a big question, because, or not question, but maybe like an obstacle, because what kind of, or do you have a process with your staff and in order to communicate these types of OTC products? Like, is there a protocol that they are trained on, or you just kind of like, do your thing, or how do you tell your staff to get
so that's a great that's a great question, Tara. So all practices, including myself, all practitioners should have protocols. So based on what the patient is coming in for, and then you have to get down more to the nitty gritty. Let's say they're coming in for, let's stick with plantar fascial pain. They're coming in with an initial plantar fascial pain that they've taken a history for me, and it's only been, 2 or 3 weeks. That leads me down one protocol. Oh, well, I'm coming in with heel pain that I've seen 12 different doctors for, and it's been going on for months. That leads me down another protocol. So it's really behooves you to discuss your protocols with your staff, so they are one step ahead for you. So I don't care what it is, and whether it's talking about a biomechanical problem, a dermatologic problem, I don't care what it is. Just let your staff be well-versed in the majority of things that you see in your practice and the protocols that go along with it.
Well, and I believe, just especially with the tools that PowerStep has provided on their exhibitor page on our website, that they provide really strong turnkey tools to help the staff with those obstacles. So it's because that is one of the biggest things, is having resources. I've worked for companies where it's like they want you kind of do almost like not shut your mouth, but just give them the tool, give them the resource. So that, and PowerStep, I think it does a really good job of providing practices with those tools, so the office doesn't have to work that hard.
Yeah, they definitely have. And again, for me, I look at it as ways to help improve my practice, and that they're giving me the tools to do that.
Yeah. I saw a minute ago, a hand was raised. And so if anyone wants to, rather than typing their answer, just come on live with us like a radio talk show and ask their question, just raise your hand and we'll unmute you. But while you guys were chatting, Mindy answered a question. What is your average markup for PowerStep products? And she said that our products, the PowerStep products, have a 50% margin for your practice. Is that pretty much what you've seen as well, Dr. Bass?
Yes. That's, I never like to, tell anybody, but talking about percentages, that's about what it is in my practice. It is a good return on the investment. I will say that for certain.
Do you feel that if you've looked at maybe, because obviously there are, every practice is always competing with the drugstore down the street, right? Especially when it's OTC. So do you feel that the pricing is in line with that, or what's your recommendation with kind of competing with the Walgreens?
I'll address that the same way I address something else in my practice. Patients come to me for my expertise, and I hope they take what I have to say in a way that I'm trying to make them better. So whether it, whether I tell them to invest in a Power Step orthotic, or I also explain it to them, I talk about sneakers a lot in my practice. And I say to my patients, I don't say anything bad about Dick's Sporting Goods or DSW or the Athlete's Foot in the Mall. I don't talk about that. I talk about investing in yourself and going to a quality store to invest in the proper sneaker. So it's the same thing here. You're going to invest in the proper orthotic for your patient. And you know what? Maybe it is $10 more. Maybe, I don't know. I'm throwing out a number. I don't even know what that means.
Well, the
But
gas price to leave your practice and go get it somewhere else is probably.
It's the same reason I sell other products in my practice, because if they're going to have to leave and go somewhere else, you know what? They're spending money there. Have the product that they can leave with. Again, you put the Power Step right in your shoe. They love it. They leave with it ready to go.
Right. And I think that's one of the biggest things is simply, obviously, the credibility that you have as their prescribing physician and convenience. I know I don't want to leave and go somewhere else to pick up something that I can just get right now.
Exactly.
And I think it's really important, though, with those staff protocols, because this happens to me, like when I go to the vet often, there's something that the vet will sell, and one of their staff members will say, but you know what, you can just go down the street to Walmart and get it. I'm like, why would you do that?
Right.
Like,
100%.
you are sabotaging your practice. Like, don't. It's just when you find your staff saying things like that, it's like that needs to be addressed.
You pay your staff has to understand. They have to believe in it just as much as you do.
Yeah. All right. Well, does anyone have any more questions? If you do, start typing them. I'll see them pop up. We have a poll launched right now. So if you haven't taken a minute to just click through that, that would be super helpful. And, like we talked about before, we do these webinars all the time with our sponsors, and the whole purpose of these webinars is to provide content that's valuable to our physicians and our audience. So if there's something that you have questions on, let us know so that we can add it to our roster and find a sponsor that can speak to that. And Dr. Bass put up his email address earlier, so you can bombard him with any questions you might have, or pictures of your dogs. That would be fun too.
Don't give me that option. I'll never stop.
And then, join us for any webinars later this month. If you want to go ahead and register on our Practice Partner Academy page, then you'll get reminders sent to you. And yeah, what do you guys have for any final thoughts, Dr. Bass and Mindy? Anything exciting?
For me, it's all about whether it's prefabricated orthotics or anything else. If you believe that this product is going to be something that's going to benefit your patients, this is something that's going to provide a return on investment for your patients and a return on investments for your practice.
Awesome. Sarah, anything else exciting?
I mean, next week, right? Then tomorrow, and then every day's a new adventure. So
Yeah.
We'll see. But no, I appreciate everyone coming on tonight. And yeah, make sure to keep joining us. Every one of you have been entered into our drawing. And so the more Practice Partner Academy sessions that you sign up for and actually show up to, the more chances you have to win. So make sure to go to podiatrymeetings.com/ I believe you can even go /PPA, but if you just go to upcoming webinars or just find it in the menu. Next, is it 19th? So a week from today, we have email marketing with Randy at Podiatry Content Connection. So email marketing tips on how to keep your patients engaged. So, and Ann and I are obsessed with email marketing. So that is one you don't want to miss. Yes,
for sure. We're so thankful to Power Step for being one of our most important, most exciting sponsors, and always to Dr. Bass for spending time with us and, sharing some of his wisdom and experience with us. So we really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having
Thank you
me.
so much.
I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks
Absolutely.
everyone. Have an awesome evening.
Yes. Good
Thank
night,
you.
everyone.
Good night.
All right, thank you.